Hello everybody, welcome to my very last asking questions video. I find this topic so interesting and you'll see in the interview, it's super neat. I interview someone who works at JPL, NASA, and we talk about the Mars Science Laboratory, which is one of my favorite topics to discuss just because of how cool I think it is. And you'll see in this video what it is, what it's about, how it prepares us for the future, and yeah, I'm just really excited to share this with you guys as my final episode, and let's get started.
3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Wow, there are other people working on this.
So let's start off by asking the question, what is the Mars Science Laboratory?
On August 6, 2012, the Mars Science Laboratory rover landed in Gale Crater on planet Mars. Scientists hoped that with the rover, they could learn more about life on Mars, specifically microbes. On November 26, 2011, the spacecraft for the Mars Science Laboratory launched. The spacecraft landed on Mars on August 6, 2012, taking 254 days to reach the target of Gale Crater. Scientist Luther Beegle is an expert on this topic.
I have 3 titles, I would say. One is I'm the Deputy Manager for Science in the JPL, which means that I manage the science division, I help manage the science division at JPL. The second title is Research Scientist at JPL, where I do science work. And the third one is the Principal Investigator for Sherlock, which is an instrument on Mars 2020.
Why did we choose Gale Crater out of any place on Mars to land?
What Gale Crater is the large crater that you can see where there was water that ran in from the sides. There's ancient rivers and things like that. On the bottom of Gale Crater, it looks like there is minerals that could only have been deposited through liquid water. Also, there's a mountain in the middle of Gale Crater, which is what we're going up right now, Aeolian Mons, or Mount Sharp, as it's now referred to. So you have is that mountain came in after the lake, so you've got the ability to look at the lake bottom, which is what we did, and then you get to go up through different epochs of Mars as you go up this Mount Sharp, and you get to see different things along the way, and you get to figure out what happened to Mars, and that's why we chose Gale Crater.
Why was this mission so important? What are we doing with it? What are we doing with the information that we've gathered?
MSL really did do a lot of chemistry, so it's now doing geology, now chemistry, because we understand some of the geology. Let's start understanding some of the chemistry. Depending on where we were looking for specific things. So at the first spot we went to, Yellowknife Bay, we were basically just testing everything out, but we found some really cool samples there. And it turned out that this was probably one of the last places in Gale Crater that had liquid water associated with it, because it is the lowest point in that crater. You never just take a sample just to take a sample. At some point, that lake that was in Gale Crater could have been habitable. It would have been just like a lake you find here. So then the question becomes, was there life associated with that lake? Can we identify things like that? And that's what we've done. That's what we've accomplished. Everything learns along the way, and everything gets more complicated to function. MSL at the time it landed was the most complicated thing we'd ever tried to do on another planet.
So since the planet Mars is super far away, how do we communicate with the rover?
There are 3 times during the day where a satellite comes overhead. And during that time, the rover stops what it's doing and communicates with the satellite, dumps all of its data back to the satellite. That's when the satellite goes below the horizon, the satellite then takes all of its data and returns it to Earth. And that happens 3 times a day. We get all of the information back, and then we look at it and we get together as a science team. And during the Martian night, we program what the rover is going to do.
Now for the final question. Is there life on Mars? Was it ever possible?
So Mars had an environment much like the Earth did around the time life started on the Earth. Had liquid water, had access to organic chemistry, and had an energy source. So life started on the Earth 3.5, 4 billion years ago. Mars had all of those things. So if life started on the Earth, either it did or didn't start on Mars. And the question is, if it did start on Mars, which is cool, let's go find out what it's like. Let's go find out, let's see if we can categorize it. If it didn't, why? What was different? Either way, we learn a lot about where we came from by going to explore Mars, even if it doesn't have life or it does have life. It's a fascinating story either way, because it should have. There's no reason we know of that makes it so it shouldn't have life.
Thank you so much for watching this episode and final episode of Asking Questions. If you guys enjoyed, please like this video. Go watch my other videos because I have 9 others of them, and I had so much fun making this series. I hope you guys had fun watching it and following along. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I want to thank the people that I've interviewed and the people that have helped me along the way. I would like to especially thank my teacher, Mr. Bender, and my friends at Hempfield High School for supporting me during this entire series. So I just want to say thank you and goodbye.
Thank you so much for watching this final episode of Asking Questions. Please go check out my other videos if you liked this one, or check out other videos on the YouTube channel HSD TV7.